Welcome to the Department of Commerce Electronic Certificate of Origin system. In this video, I will be showing users how to apply for a Certificate of Origin for perishable products. To get started, go ahead and log into your exporter portal. In order to apply for a Certificate of Origin, users must have products added to the system and have their cost statements or affidavits approved by the Department of Commerce. Go ahead and watch the previous videos in this series to learn how to do so. It is also worth noting that the process described in this video are only for those exporting perishable items such as betel leaves, edible fish, strawberries, and so on. To get started, I will click on the Apply COO for Perishable tile. This directs me to the Certificate of Origin table, where I can view all the certificates of origin for perishable products that I have applied to. The ECO number is a unique ID generated by the Electronic Certificate of Origin system for you to identify your certificates of origin. For each new certificate of origin that you apply for, a new ECO number will be generated. The following columns display the agreement, status of my certificate of origin, the original copy, office copy, payment prompt, and other additional actions which can be performed. If I click on the original copy, I can view the original copy of my certificate of origin. And similarly, if I click on the office copy, I can view the office copy of my particular certificate of origin. The payment column allows me to pay for a certificate once it has been approved by the Department of Commerce. And now to get started, let's click on the Apply New Application button. This directs me to the application page. I will select an agreement, enter consignee name, consignee address, importing country, means of transport, which will be air freight in this particular case, a route to and from destination. At this point in time, you may not have a CUSDEC number, office coding CUSDEC, CUSDEC date, or a CUSDEC declaration. You may also not have an FOB value in USD and the associated exchange rates. So I will leave these fields blank for now. This is the area where your product details pertaining to the certificate of origin are to be added. The plus icon allows you to add multiple products if necessary. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will only add a single product. It is worth noting that only products relevant to the selected agreement and destination that also have a Department of Commerce approved cost statement or an affidavit will be displayed in this drop-down list. If your product does not appear in this drop-down list, please make sure that these prerequisites are met. You may not have the details of the marks and number of packages at this point. As such, I will leave this blank. I will enter the number and kind of packages, description of good, as well as the origin criterion. I will also not be able to specify the gross weight at this point, since this information along with the CUSDEC information will only be available to me once I place my products into the air freight. It is also worth noting that by clicking on the eye icon, you will be able to view the affidavit pertaining to that selected product. The total gross weight and net weight fields are also optional at this point, as I do not have the relevant information. Now I will attach the relevant invoices by specifying the invoice number, the invoice date, and uploading the relevant invoices. Multiple invoices can be entered by clicking on the plus icon. Afterwards, any additional notes that need to be specified in the certificate of origin can be entered. Up to 5 additional notes can be entered using this system, so please make sure to use this given space appropriately. And now I am given an option to save the certificate of origin application as a template. This can be very helpful if you're trying to apply for a multiple number of certificates of origin and only one or two of the inputs are going to be changed between each certificate application. To demonstrate this, let me go ahead and save this application by clicking the checkbox and providing it a suitable name. Now before I submit the application, I will click on Preview. A PDF of the Certificate of Origin original copy will be downloaded. This will allow me to preview what my Certificate of Origin would look like before I submit the application to be sent for the Department of Commerce review. If there are any inconsistencies or corrections to be made, I can make those changes within the Certificate of Origin application page and preview the certificate once again to ensure its correctness. It is also worth noting, if you wish your HS code to be displayed in 6 digits instead of 8, go to the white box area and check the box saying, do you wish to display the HS code as 6 digits? Now after checking this, let's go down and click the Preview Certificate button once more. Now as you can clearly see, the HS code is now displayed as 6 digits instead of 8 if that is what your buyer requires. If you also have a requirement to enter Indian HS codes instead of Sri Lankan ones, you can enter the final 2 digits of your Indian HS code. And now going back to the preview, you can see that the final 2 digits of your HS code has been replaced with the 2 numbers you just entered. Once the certificate looks up to your expectations, go ahead and click Submit. This will send the certificate for DOC for review. As you can see, the status of my certificate now says Processing. An email will be sent to your account confirming your submission of a Certificate of Origin application as shown here. I will now skip ahead in time to show what a Department of Commerce approval of a Certificate of Origin will look like. Once the Department of Commerce reviews the application, you will receive an email such as this. It says that my Certificate of Origin application has been approved by the Department of Commerce, and now it is prompting me to make the necessary payments. Now going back to the Certificate of Origin table, the status of the application has changed from processed to pending payment. Now let me go ahead and click the Pay button. This directs me to the payment page. In here, I can view all the pending payments that I have in my account. This page can also be accessed from the dashboard by clicking the Payments tile. I will now select the Certificate of Origin I submitted during this demonstration, which can be found using the ECO number this electronic system generates for each certificate I have entered. If you are unsure about whether you are paying for the correct certificate, click on the View icon in the table. It will show me the exact certificate to which I am making a payment for. After selecting the certificate I wish to pay for, in the bottom of the screen you are given an option to either make a card payment or a bank transfer. Selecting card payments will direct you to a prompt provided by the Internet Payment Gateway, where you can enter your card details and make an instantaneous, secure payment. You can also perform a bank transfer to the Department of Commerce account and upload the receipt of a bank transfer into the system. Now let me fast forward a bit as I make the necessary payments for these certificates of origin. Once payments are successfully completed, you will receive an email which looks like this. Returning to the Certificate of Origin table, the status of my certificate has changed from pending payment to ready to issue. And now it is time to place the digital signature of your authorized person on this certificate. This can be done by clicking on the pen icon. We have a separate video named Digital Signature guiding users on how to upload their digital signatures into the system. So go ahead and watch that video if you need more guidance regarding this particular process. I will select my authorized person from the drop-down at which point a verification code will be sent as a text message to this authorized person's mobile number, which I will now enter. And now I will hit submit. At this point, your certificate will be sent to the Department of Commerce for the placement of their signature. Clicking on the original copy, you will be able to see the placement of your signature on the certificate. Once the Department of Commerce places their signature, it will appear in the appropriate cage. And now I will skip ahead in time to showcase what the placement of signature by the Department of Commerce may look like. You will receive an email such as this confirming the placement of signature by the Department of Commerce. And now going back to the certificate table, clicking on the original certificate, as you can see, the Department of Commerce signature has been successfully placed. At this point, the watermark on the certificate is still present. In order to get this watermark removed and make your certificate a valid certificate, you must submit the CUSDEC information, the invoice information, as well as information regarding the gross weight, which you will receive when you send your product through the relevant port. As such, in order to do so, go ahead and click on the icon that appears in the action column. This will direct you to the certificate application page where you will be able to view the previously inputted information. And now the remaining information must be inserted. I will now go down a bit and enter my CUSDEC information from the CUSDEC number, CUSDEC declaration, CUSDEC date, as well as the office code in CUSDEC. The FOB value in USD as well as the provided exchange rate for USD in Sri Lankan rupees will be entered. Since I have loaded the products onto the air freight at this point, I will now have information regarding the weight. As such, I will enter the marks and number of packages as well as the gross weight. I will also upload the relevant invoices based on weight that I have received. After which I will also be able to upload the CUSDEC and documents such as the bill of lading, attached sheet, or any other documents that you may have. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will upload the CUSDEC. Once completed, I will hit submit. After I submit the relevant information, now clicking on the original copy button once again, as you can clearly see, the watermark has been now removed. And the new details I have inserted have been added to the certificate. This concludes the process of applying for a certificate of origin for perishables, as now you will be able to start using this certificate. However, it is worth noting that the Department of Commerce will once again review your newly added information. And if they do find anything wrong with the CUSDEC, the weights, or the invoices that you have newly submitted, they will be able to cancel your certificate through the electronic system. As such, please ensure that you insert all the correct details into the system to avoid your certificate getting cancelled. If you wish to know more about how to add products, apply for affidavits, and how to place your digital signature, as well as how to cancel issued certificates of origin, go ahead and watch the previous videos in this series. This concludes the video for the certificate of origin for perishable products. Thank you for watching.